do a moment of silence this evening to the regular meeting for the tree mob.
We're good.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our City Council work meeting for Wednesday, the 27th. We'll get started with item 1.1, review of this evening's agenda. Any changes, comments? Seeing none, we'll go to 1.2, any future agenda items.
I was wondering if we might want to look at having the fee where people can change or asked to change the ordinances. And maybe instead, like talking about if we want to have people be able to pay to petition to change the ordinance, or if we just want people to work through city council members to do that. So, I'd suggest that.
No idea, other than, I think the fee has always been, if you're gonna take up staff time, then before it.
I would just say in most, this is the only place I've ever been where somebody could pay to ask to have an ordinance changed. Zoning requests are different, but like these are just standard code. I'd like to change. It just feels strange. Typically, they might approach their counselor if the counselor.
So I guess the question is what's the process otherwise? Is there a process? Should there be, or should this is what it is? And
You
it needs to be
approach
a political
Yeah.
thing that we have to say, yeah, I want to request that we look at that.
I was wondering if it takes up more staff time for them to have to do it whenever someone has the money to pay the fee instead of having it be vetted a little more.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not advocating one or the other, just what's the procedure to begin with?
How is it?
And how often do
places.
you even see that?
You've had a couple recently where they've paid. I would just say in other places, they would approach their counselor if they thought there was a change and it would come to staff that way. If they felt the code was broken and they came to us and we looked at it and said, yeah, that's right, it doesn't work, it might come from staff. To like a work meeting, say, hey, we think we should change this, it was brought to us, but it wasn't. If you think about it, if you have to pay for it, if somebody has a legitimate but doesn't have the money, you're kind of.
But does that mean there's three avenues? Because they can still approach their council person and ask to be changed without paying anything. So that's an avenue. If they wanna go the fee route, they can go the fee route. Or if they come and talk to staff and say, look, this is broken, can you fix it? Staff can fix it. So does it mean there's three ways that way versus two?
Yeah, it's just unusual for me to see that somebody with money gets to ask for it. It's just strange. I don't know, maybe it's a Utah thing. I've worked mostly out of the state and it's the first place I've ever seen that they have a fee to do, not a zoning request. Zoning requests have always, because it's the property owner asking it, but for just any code sections, I don't like this code section.
Does an outside party, or does it have to be a resident that does that too?
I think it's.
Does it have to be a resident, or can it be anybody?
It's, I believe our code says it needs to be a property owner.
But it
But
can
what
be an
about like
agent
the one,
though.
we had two
Or
last
an
meeting,
agent,
right?
or, yeah,
Yeah.
Somebody associated with the property. It can't just be an
Right.
outside party saying,
Right.
go, because we have outside parties come over.
But it's not limited to land use code, it's any code section.
yeah, I think that's correct.
So I'd be curious to know how often it's happened, but we had two in the last meeting and it didn't seem like anybody really wanted it except for the person bringing it, and that it took time, and I'd be curious in exploring it more.
I like it.
Just for your information, the code, the fee amendment that we've been working on, in looking at actual costs, it looks like we may be proposing an increase for that particular request. Would be fairly substantial
If
too,
we just
because
do
you
away
can
with
see
it,
how
then I
much
don't
staff time it takes, right? So,
Seriously.
yeah.
So we'll bring something back to you at the work meeting just to talk about. what
Yeah,
that
that's
looks
interesting.
like.
I like it. Eddie?
I would like to talk about Black Ridge. From what's happened the last time, what that looks like going forward, what we need to do either for precautionary things and or changing the use or whatever inner discussion, I don't know, I'm sure staff has talked about stuff, but I don't know,
usually have an annual
Yeah, we have an annual update, but
We do that.
discussion.
I'm assuming it's gonna be part of our Parks Master.
So we're getting
report
pretty
too.
close to that annual update too.
Yeah.
Included with that.
After Labor Day, put all our numbers together for that. So can we talk about it?
Okay.
And then Councilman Henderson can say.
I'll second.
I think you got 3 votes there.
Okay, we'll bring it back at that annual. Okay, anything else from staff or council? Okay, 1.3, council discussion of future citizen recognitions. Okay, seeing none tonight, we'll go to our administrative reports, to 2.1, quarterly report on capital projects. Rice?
Okay, yeah, so this will be pretty quick, but if there are specific projects that the council has questions on, we can go over that, but yeah. We're right in the middle of a lot of construction. The ones that are probably most visible as you walk in, we're working on the planter bed right in front of City Hall. So that project is to take the drainage from the roof and the parking lot and put it into the planter bed. It'll infiltrate, and then the remaining water that doesn't, infiltrate will be taken to the storm drain. So it's a cleaning process, but it's also conservation of water there, so. Yeah, that's going on. It should be done by mid-September, so you probably saw it as you walked in. It's fenced off and they're digging and is more of an educational showcase for the state actually funded most of the project. It is a mandate that we start retrofitting some of our old storm drain infrastructure to be more LID, low impact development friendly, which is, putting the water into the ground rather than sending it all to a creek or something. So that's kind of a showcase project, like we said, should be done by mid-September. Out front, we've got a median project going on to convert, again, another grant that we got to convert the sod to water efficient landscaping. Kind of 2 parts, 1 to save water, but 2 to also save our pavement and road that's getting impacted by the sprinkling system. And so, yeah, that's going on. Those impacts will be ongoing until the end of the year, probably a little bit into the spring of next year, till that's finalized. There's a bunch of other, roadway projects are going on. 7300 West off of Main Street going north is getting filled up right now with fill. 6400 West roadway north of Harriman Boulevard just got paved last week. And so that road will be from Harriman Boulevard going north up to Midas Creek. And then we'll work on the bridge over Midas Creek and the next phase up to 118th South here soon. But yeah, those are some of kind of quickly. Oh, Mountain Ridge Park, we're having the ribbon cutting next week. So it will be open and available to the public. And then White Hollow Trailhead, the same week we will have the groundbreaking. So finish one part, jump over to another one. So yeah, I can answer any questions on certain capital projects or even just process of capital projects, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
Miller Crossing,
Miller Crossing,
the subdivision, the road.
yes, so yeah, that's a good question. So there has been some settlement of the trenches of both sewer and water lines in that subdivision. It was built, I think, about 6 or 7 years ago. And so the road itself over those trenches is sinking. So the manholes are sticking out of the road. There's that project is actually on your consent agenda today for final approval. That would go in, and the sewer district's actually gonna cover the cost for the trench repair of the sewer trench. And then we'll cover the cost of the water trench. And then after that, we'll come in with a mill and overlay, have one new surface over the road.
Is there any kind of a warranty on that?
So 1 year
Yeah,
by
unfortunately,
1 year.
yeah, APWA is kind of who sets that up, and it's custom for all cities in Utah to have a 1 year warranty on construction items.
So we asked the same question yesterday morning.
Is there a what's the cause of it? Not
Likely,
proper compaction?
not proper compaction, unlikely, but the contractor may have used bad material. We usually require submittals and testing, but we don't know exactly. the sewer lines have been, they put a camera through them just to make sure it's not a leak that's causing it. And that wasn't the case, so we think as they're backfilling above the pipes, they just didn't do it.
And they do compaction tests and everything, but, and then the third party with the inspectors from the city and the
Yes.
Jordan Basin. So it's very hard that usually compaction's one area, but this is the whole subdivision, so it's really odd. So we ask the same questions, like, and ours is only 230,000, something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, sewer district's covering the majority of the cost. Harriman Cities is more like 100,000, and then the sewer district's about 250, so, yeah, that's a good point.
We hate to have to pay for it twice.
No, yeah, and but it's like, if it was if it was compaction or just weird, it's like this weird soil or something, material or something, but,
Yeah, and once we open it up, we'll know a little bit more, but yeah, it's likely a compaction issue over the pipe.
Bryce, do we have tools in place now? Cause now we're talking Anthem had to get replaced pretty quick, and then this. Do we have tools in place now to prevent this stuff?
Yeah, I think we have better materials that we know about and better specifications on road base and asphalt, to be specific to Anthem that will prevent some of these. Our inspectors are a little bit more trained up than I believe they were back then. We also have third-party testing agencies, and so there's always an ongoing, monitoring, and it's always a balance of, how long are you on a job site? Are you there, 24/7?
Yes.
So then you can't go over to the other job site on the other side. So it is a balancing act on how much inspection we are always on these construction projects. But I think the process is always evolving, and we're getting better at catching, fatal flaws ahead of time.
and you're only at 96% compaction, so, because you can't get 100%, but.
Right.
So there's still some sinkage inevitable, but not, there's some of those manholes that are 3 inches out.
And
Yeah.
another question would be, is it, are we seeing a pattern with contractor, or are we just seeing random contractors with the same issues?
This issue, we identified who the contractor was. We haven't had this bad a problem with them before. So there's no contractors yet that have been blacklisted, from the city, but that is something we're keeping an eye on. If we consistently see these problems from one contractor, then yeah, we could potentially blacklist them from bids, so.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it, Bryce. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to item 2.2, consideration of a policy regarding sponsorships, donations, and naming rights. Wendy?
Okay, Mayor and Council, this is just a framework, very early draft of how the city wishes to accept donations made to the city. There are a couple things, that I want. On the third page, under acceptance of donations, we hit a $50,000 limit. That's completely an arbitrary number. It came out of the sky. I don't know how you feel about that number, if that's a number that you are agreeable with. Anything over $50,000 would need to come to the city council for approval. Anything under $50,000 could be approved by the city manager as designee. Any thoughts on that?
I think it's good. What is your, when you bring things back to us financially, remember we used to kind of have that open-ended thing for you, and then you scaled it back to where you were making decisions, you didn't want it to be over a certain amount of money?
So that's in our purchasing policy, it's $250, so if it's budgeted, we can sign those contracts. If it's above that, we're coming to you, so you'll see like our major construction projects you want weighing in on. We report on like change orders once they hit 50, that may be where the 50,000 concept came from.
Just seemed good though, that's consistent
like a
with
round
something
number.
like that, yeah.
So for change, whenever we have a change order and the change order, you've got some coming tonight, where it's either the change order's over 50 or the cumulative as they're happening, we bring that back at 50. And it actually is an item where staff's gonna bring to you, is we need to talk about change orders, or not change orders, but contingency and how we budget for those and how we plan. Because some projects are more susceptible to needing that versus others.
Like old roads.
Old
Really
roads,
old
old
areas.
pipes.
If you're reconstructing as opposed to building in a new field where there are no existing utilities, much different expectations there.
I thought it was great.
The other thing that I think I wanna put a little bit more in is about the naming rights, and dialing that in a little bit more.
That kind of prompted this policy discussion.
So if you have any additional suggestions on this, let me know. And I'll bring it back to you probably in September
Okay.
with some additional language in the
I
naming
don't know
rights.
that I like naming rights at all. I think it should probably just be folded into sponsorships.
So if we have somebody that says, I want to pay for the arena, I'll give you $50,000 for 10 years of my name being on the arena. So it's not the Butterfield Arena, it's the,
But still a sponsorship.
But it's XYZ Arena at Butterfield, or, yeah.
Still a sponsorship. Is it not?
But they, like,
I
the
want my
name
name,
rights
I
would
want,
be,
It's just
I want my
an extra
name
layer,
on
is that what
there
you're saying?
for, and I'm gonna give you $50,000 a year for 10 years.
Yeah, I think that the way that she wrote it though is it's like, so sponsorship that also includes naming rights. It's like a different level of it, it's not just sponsorships, it's sponsorships wanting a
In
particular,
exchange for,
in exchange for a name.
I did like how it said, like, the city reserves the right to change the name anytime. I mean, that was nice.
I think that's a
Coverage.
protection, yeah.
how do you feel about roads?
Naming roads,
well, so like in my hometown, we did like, we had Olympians or whatever, they come home and that name would, but we have east, west and north, south, so that, instead of like Mustang Way, right? It would be whatever sport name or whatever they.
But if you're naming them after some, so let's say if someone prominent passes away in the community,
I think that
Is there a
that's,
sunset date on that, or is there like, or is it just their name, or?
feels like
That's a
Pandora's
tough-
box.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there's always,
Slippery slope, buddy.
it's always a controversial.
That would be my
I
opinion.
don't wanna get into those things, I think it's more surrounding our events and parks and
Kind of
gathering
parks,
places.
okay. Okay, well, I will take a stab at cleaning some of that
Cause
up.
I don't ever know if I'm going to the Delta Center, or if I'm going to this center.
David Home Center.
Which center are we going to?
And
which
Exact
comes like
same
it-
location.
It's also
We're
tough
stopped
if you start
at Delta
changing
Center.
your street or address
Yeah,
and
say, with the road names.
Oh, that's a nightmare,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, I mean, we saw it on Harriman Main
Herman Main
Street.
Street.
You have 4 different addresses, but it's the same street.
All your bank, all your
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track for sure. Thank you.
I don't disagree with you, I hate that idea of naming rights and stuff, but it's a different layer of
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, 2.3, discussion regarding a property use agreement with Utah Soccer Federation to construct a park. Wendy again?
So this has been going on for a while. We met with them 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago.
3 years ago.
Yes. But most recently, as we were getting closer in the negotiation, they came back and I think rightfully are requesting that the city pays for the bathroom improvements and landscaping improvements around the park, in the park strips. We can find some ways to mitigate some of those costs. Liz had some good ideas about how to help with the park strip costs, because this does have park strips on all 4 sides of the property. But the bathroom is a situation, and I think it's a fair ask. Just as a reminder, they're asking for 24 weeks a year in preferred use on the
Should we
fields in
be
the spring
paying
and
for
the
all
fall.
of it though?
That's the discussion.
Right, so I mean, looking at the cost, I
$1
mean,
million.
we're bringing the land, which is $2.5–3 million, right? Depending on the day.
Well, that was
They want-
$526,000 for the land we bought out in Olympia for the road, so times it by 5.
And they want pretty much exclusive use for the main
Chunk of the year, Dan.
chunk of the year.
And then we're doing maintenance.
Yeah,
And billing them for maintenance.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it.
So they want us to pay for the.
And I'm the soccer advocate, so
Yes, they're requesting that the city pay for that portion of the park.
So your recommendation is that we don't cover the bathroom?
That's my recommendation, that doesn't mean anything. And this is coming in the next meeting too, so for decision, so.
I think the park strip makes sense, cause that's more of an aesthetic thing, it doesn't have anything to do with the usability of the facility, but
Cause they're not gonna be able to use the facility for 20-something weeks without a bathroom there.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
that
the
would
people
definitely
who
be
use
highest
it around the
use.
neighborhood can run home and go to the bathroom if they need.
I mean,
Then
more or
there
less,
needs to be a bathroom.
Where they have portables.
there's, that leaves, what, 4 or 5 weeks till the summer where it's open to the public.
Trevor did an analysis, how many weeks?
If you.
Summer.
If you're looking at mid-May to say mid-September, 19.
To 19 days or 19 weekend days.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Is that right? 19 weeks?
Yes.
Well,
Mid-September.
They have 24 weeks, right? A
Yeah,
year,
24 weeks.
They
there's
get
52 weeks, so they're getting it half. They get half.
And not paying for long. I think I agree with your recommendation.
To you guys, and that's not a bad negotiation, right, is to say landscaping, that park strip landscaping makes sense.
Yeah.
So we cover the landscaping,
That was
That was-
Henderson's
have them do the bathroom, we'll cover the landscaping.
It's just the park strips around, and that's like our more less aesthetic requirement, it can't have anything to do with the usability of the facility. But, not the bathroom.
I'm agreed, I can get a word with that.
And the city maintains the bathroom after it's built.
But we built
We
them,
build them for their use.
There's a
For
portion
maintenance.
during those weeks, yeah.
same with excessive mowing, right? We pay for mowing the whole time.
Right.
The only time they would even have to pay for mowing and maintenance.
They're still doing
Is
this.
this during your use weeks?
Yes. They want a new turn, or natural grass, yeah.
But I mean, that's a big expense for us, operating, mowing that lawn, 5
Well,
acres, that's a lot.
Will this be a prefab bathroom facility?
Yes, just like the other one that we're installing.
I think I agree with that, I think they should have both of them.
We'll talk about it again in a minute.
Here we go. Okay, moving right along.
Whatever.
2.4, request from Camp Williams for the fiscal year 26 REPI Challenge funding.
This one's pretty straightforward in the packet. So if you weren't aware, there's 2 Sentinel landscapes that we fall under. We fall under the Great Salt Lake Sentinel landscape, and we also fall under the West Traverse Sentinel landscape. This is for the Great Salt Lake Sentinel landscape, of which we are a partner. They're just, because we're the only agency that can accept funds from the Department of Defense due to our agreement with the JLUS. And they're asking us to be a pass-through to get some grant money for the website, which is a portal for landowners to go to understand more about the programs that are available, where conservation easements can go, what they can do, all of those things. So there's really nothing on our end other than me and Kyle's time doing this and invoicing and checking and transferring money. But the agencies that it would go to are listed there in your packet, and I think it's a good program and a good opportunity for us to continue to partner with camp.
Is there any recoup for time and effort, or is this a pass-through pro bono?
Just pass.
No real time on staff.
No, we did this, we've done this in the past, we did it for Saratoga Springs most recently.
For cemetery.
Their cemetery. So for anybody, that JLUS stands for Joint Land Use Study. It is something the military does with the surrounding.
This could be benefit for our community,
Yes,
our
absolutely.
landowners that we're looking to buy land from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're good with that, I'll let them know and
Good.
Motion to adjourn the work meeting.
Okay,
Second.
gotta go to closed.
You gonna read it, bro?
Nope.
Put the motion,
I
you
do the other.
got a motion on the
Yeah,
table.
motion. I have 100% record, well, not 100. I've done it once. Hopefully we never have to.
I think we gotta withdraw the motion though.
You withdraw your motion.
It is withdrawn.
Motion to go to closed.
I'll make a motion to temporarily recess the city council meeting to go into closed meeting for the following purposes provided in Utah State Code Annotated 52-4-205. Strategy session to discuss pending or reasonable imminent litigation. Strategy sessions to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, or discuss a proposed development agreement, project proposal, or financing proposal related to the development of land owned by the city.
Second, we doing, hold on, are we doing both now then, or we wanna?
One of
I think
them's
there's
gonna have to
three.
wait, cause I think
Okay, there are
three items, we can do two of them.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. I don't know what the third one is.
I thought it was yours, so maybe
Yeah.
we only have two.
Okay, we'll start with that.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
yours.
So I have a motion by Sherry,
Second.
second by Teddy, Sherry,
Yes.
Teddy,
Yes.
Jared,
Yep.
Tara,
Yes.
one more yes. So we're going to close the
Like,
council, Blake, Nathan, Wendy.
Yeah.
That it? Okay. We'll stay here. We'll have to do another close after, because one of the parties we closed is